Title of today's video and think, this is an obvious topic. My resume's fine. I don't need to update it. Well, the truth is, it's not an obvious topic. And yes, you do need to update your resume because so many of you who reach out to me when I ask if your resume is up to date, you tell me it's not. Your answer is it's not up to date, but I need to do that at some point. So let's talk about why it's important to keep your resume updated regularly and the consequences of not doing so. This is career tip number 48 as I'm counting down the top 50 career tips to help you succeed in any role. And career tip number 48 is why it's important to keep your resume updated regularly. Now, look, the truth is, your resume is one of your most important assets in your professional career and journey. Your resume is absolutely the first impression you're making when you send it out. Now, we tend to think of only updating our resume when we're looking for jobs because potential employers are going to ask for it. And that's true. That is one reason to keep your resume updated. But even if you're not looking for a job right now, it's still important to keep your resume updated. And here's why. First, you want to avoid last minute panic. I see it from so many of you. You never know when an opportunity is going to come up, and now you're panicking, trying to figure out what do I update? What do I add? Do I have the right information on my resume? And that last minute panic leads to mistakes. That last minute panic leads to errors, and now you're not presenting the best first impression that you can in your resume. So let's avoid that last minute panic because it leads to errors and mistakes. But you also want to keep your resume updated because if you're trying to go back and recreate it after the fact, you're going to forget important milestones. You're going to forget important piece of experience that you want on your resume. You're going to forget those accomplishments that you want your audience to know. You're going to forget those important contributions that you want on your resume. And yes, I'm seeing it from you all the time as we begin to work together in my coaching program. You're kind of struggling a little bit to go back and recreate those experiences because you haven't updated your resume. And that's why when I ask if you've updated your resume, so many of you say, no, I need to do that. But then when you do it, it's hard to recreate it looking backwards as opposed to doing so in real time. Let's avoid let's avoid the consequences of forgetting those important milestones and pieces of experience and keep your resume updated regularly. Next, and this is important, track your contributions and accomplishments regularly. As you're tracking those regularly, whether it's on a weekly basis or monthly basis or even a quarterly basis, that's going to help you update your resume in real time so that information is fresh and you don't have the last minute panic and you're not trying to recreate the resume after the fact. Track your contributions and your accomplishments regularly and you won't have a problem with having those milestones right in front of you. And last but not least, it's important to keep your resume updated in case the worst case scenario happens. What happens if you lose your job? What happens if you lose your job? Now, all of a sudden, you're scrambling again, last minute panic, but you're scrambling trying to put your resume together, update it so you can get it out to potential employers. And let's be honest, these days, there's so many open jobs posted on LinkedIn and social media. You've got to act quickly. And by having your resume updated regularly, you can act quickly to take advantage of the market opportunities that are in front of you. So, let's avoid the last minute panic. Let's make sure that you're not trying to recreate your resume after the fact. Track your wins regularly and also make sure that if the worst case scenario happens, because it happens to the best of us, that your resume is up to date and you're ready. When you're able to track with these pieces of advice and make sure your resume is up to date, then you can take advantage of any opportunity that comes along. So, what are you waiting for? Go update your resume. And for those of you who are interested in the top 50 career tips that I'm offering, you can find the next career tip here. You can find the entire playlist here. But You can also click on my face because you don't want to forget to subscribe so that you're notified every single time I post a new career tip video. Good morning, Lauren. I can see that Lauren is joining us this morning. This is awesome. Hey, Lauren, how are you this morning? Thank you for this career tip. Huge eye-opener reminder to keep the resume up to date and on it today. Yeah, you know what, Lauren? It's sort of an after the fact that we don't think about until we need it, and then trying to recreate it after the fact is just a nightmare. Because you know you're forgetting things, and you don't feel good about the resume you're sending out. So yes, it is a huge eye opener for so many. Although, as I said when I started, some people say, "Well, that's pretty obvious." It's obvious, yet all of us are guilty of not doing it. So, Lauren, you're exactly right. It is a huge eye opener reminder to keep that resume up to date. Now, I talked about this in terms of jobs, but Lauren is reminding me with her comment, this also opportunities come up all the time. It could be a volunteer position. Maybe you're looking for a board seat. Maybe there's something else that comes up, and people always say, well, hey, send me your resume. I'd love to see your resume. Keeping it up to date makes sure that you can take advantage of any opportunity that comes along when it comes along. So, Lauren, thank you. I'm grateful for that comment and grateful that you're here. And look, for those of you who are watching on the replay, drop me a comment below. Hey, Melissa, how are you this morning? Melissa says it is so important to keep your resume up to date. And that's exactly why we're doing this video, because it seems obvious, but it's not obvious because all of us, like I said, Melissa, are guilty of doing it. But it's important to follow these tips so that your resume is always, always, always up to date. So I love, good morning, Judy. Travel Designs by Judy. Hey guys, by the way, if you're planning a trip, contact Judy. Judy is a fantastic travel designer. She will hook you up. So contact Judy. And Judy says, I think by making sure things are up to date as they happen, it's really important. And that, Judy, is exactly the value of the real time updating, whether you're tracking your wins and your accomplishments. You're exactly right. When you happen as they're when you're updating as they happen, then you know you're capturing the right information. And that is so important. And Melissa says while you're updating your resume, you can update important things like your website and your business card. Oh, wow. Melissa's bringing the heat this morning, the website and the business card. And Melissa, I just realized over the weekend, I am ridiculously guilty of my business card not being up to date because I did switch my website. And so I'm kind of guilty on both fronts, Melissa. So thank you for mentioning that. It's sitting here by my computer because it's on my list today to take care of. I was going to a meeting last week in DC and I went to hand my business card out and I thought, nope, wrong, wrong, wrong website. So I kindly put it back in my briefcase, and that is on my list today, Melissa. So I love that you're bringing up. I love that you're bringing up that comment because yeah, I mean, Melissa's right. It's a package deal. It's the resume, it's the business card, it's the website. Look, it's your social media profiles. Where can people find you? What is the impression that you want to make? And you're creating that impression across a multitude of different mechanisms. And yes, your resume is one. That business card, as Melissa said, is spot on in terms of making sure it is updated as well. Hey, good morning, Ramona. Thank you for being here. The business card, yes. Look, we're all in this together this morning in terms of making sure the business card, the resume, how you present yourself matters so much. And so I'm so grateful that Judy's here, Melissa's here, Ramona's here, and Lauren's here. And what a great group this morning. Yeah, Lauren's still with us, Melissa's still with us, Judy is still with us, Ramona's with us. I love these comments that are coming in because look, we all get busy. All of us do. That's why I'm guilty of not having my business card updated. All of us get busy, but it's important to take that 10 or 15 minutes, as Judy said, when things happen in real time, update it in real time. And that's why we're suggesting that you track your accomplishments and your contributions so that you're updating your resume in real time. But I'm grateful for all of you being here this morning. Thank you for the reminders of yes, the resume is important, the business card is important, our website, how you show up to potential opportunities truly, truly matters. So now you've had great advice this morning. If you're joining us live or if you're watching on the replay, you've heard it here. Go make sure that all of your professional assets are up to date. And that way you are ready when the opportunity presents itself.